Welcome back. I'm Kevin Locken with Mitchell Acoustical, and today we're talking about commercial door closers. We're here in the entry area of our office, and today we're going to go with a concealed closure. This happens to be a left-handed door, and so we don't, as soon as people come into our office area, we don't want them seeing a closure on a door. So we're going to hide it to the inside of this frame here so that when it opens, that's when it's exposed. For this installation, we'll be using a heavy-duty commercial door closure by Universal Hardware. We'll have a link to the exact model in the description. So the first thing that we're going to do is find our A and B points. And what that is that's the start of the center of the screw and the end of the center of the screw. Now in this particular closer, it is 7 5/8, and then from there, it's 9 1/16. So that's just on this particular one. A lot of other closers, if you get them from supply houses or something else like that, they'll actually have a guide there for you, which makes it a hell of a lot easier on these. So what we're gonna do on this first one is we're gonna come 7 5/8, and we're gonna go ahead and mark it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and mark it. And then from there, we're gonna come back, and we're gonna go 9 1/16, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mark that, okay? And then I'm gonna come through with my square, and since I have to come down on this stile 3 inches once I close the door, I'm gonna go ahead and mark this with a square just coming straight down on the door. I do it with a pencil so it can be erased anyway, so it's not a big deal. And this is a fine pencil, so shouldn't have any problems erasing that. So I'll come down on this one, I'll square that up, and then we'll go ahead, we'll close the door, measure down 3 inches, and then another 3/4 for the second screw, and then we'll be ready to mount this cylinder. Now that we have those marks indicating where we should place the cylinder on a horizontal plane, we now then have to come down 3 inches and mark where our first hole is going to be. Now the reason why we do that is the directions tell us to come from this stile right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll mark this first one. That's going to be where our first mounting screw is going to go. Then we'll come across, we'll go here, okay? And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, is that now I have to flub with 3/4 of an inch. And I'll go ahead and mark that. 3/4 of an inch, okay? We'll come through here, mark it down, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so now what these 4 little crosses are the indicators of where I'm gonna put my first divot so that I can pre-drill for the cylinder. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go from the inside of the stile here, and we're gonna pull 9 1/4 over. On this one, I'm actually going to use these 4 screws as a guide. There's another one here that says that this is like 2 5/8 and then 2 1/4. I'm just going to actually butt this into the door once I find my 9 1/4, and then go ahead and circle all these out. So we'll go ahead, we'll pull over 9 1/4, we'll mark that on the door. Then what I can do is take this mounting bracket, push it right on the door, and go ahead and circle out all these screws. For this metal frame, we'll use cobalt-tipped drill bits, and in here we can just use any wood titanium drill bits for this wood door. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a 3/16 bit, a nice clean new one. We're gonna run it in this so that we can just mount or start mounting our cylinder. We don't need to go all the way deep, just at least get it started for those bigger screws. So this is the point where I'm going to have to put my safety glasses on and go ahead and drill into the metal. I think I bent that bit. So the next order of business will be taking this mounting bracket and putting this up. Because if you put this on and then have to close this door, you'll never be able to get this bracket on there. Now, as you guys can see, this is about 1.5 inches self-tapping screw, and this would be, if I didn't have drill bits, I could actually run it up in there, but I drilled it out, I pre-drilled it. This is gonna make this a lot easier. The second thing is this is for a number 3 tip. A lot of your door hardware is going to be number 3 tipped, whether it's the inside of your hardware or your hinges. Most of it's going to be number 3 across the board. And you can always adjust it later, but that's why I used a 3/16 tip, because a lot of these are the same. So it makes it just a nice, easy transition. Now that we're onto the wood door, we're going to be using these pointer wood screws. Okay. Now we're ready to put the swing arm on and finish this thing up. This swing arm in particular isn't already wound up, so there's a nut here at the bottom that you could take a wrench and you could just pry it back a little bit to wind up that arm, or you could take this on and put it at, it's not going to be a reverse angle, but it's going to be wound past the 90 of the door, past being parallel with it. So what I did is I wound it past that door and then cranked it. So now it's laying flush on the door. I brought out this arm to bring it about 1.5 inches off this door, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it. I'll then take this bolt and I'll tighten that after. Screw this up under here so it's tight. Okay. Then I'll go ahead and open the door and do the exact same thing on the other side of the swing arm after putting that cap on. Then the last thing we have to go do is attach the rest of this swing arm to the actual contraption. And it's just got a lock washer on there as well. So now we'll be able to freely swing this door out of the way. So it'll come in and lock behind us. So now all I have to do is I have to go through and adjust the door. We'll leave that for another video. Most of these are supposed to close within 7 seconds. This one is in about 3, I would say. So it's wound up just a little bit, maybe not even 3 seconds. So I have to go through and adjust it, and we'll do another video tutorial on how to adjust these things. We've got a couple of springs up here and some adjustments over here. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be bringing you guys more door videos in the future. Any comments, questions, go ahead and hit us up below, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Have a good one.